Good evening. Welcome to the Breakfast Club, the evening session, which we do occasionally on Tuesday nights. I want to say hello to everybody and welcome our co-founder of Kula Brands, Doug Kyle. Doug, welcome, and thank you so much for being here tonight. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Glad to be here.
All right. Well, we have an exciting night. I've been talking with Doug, and he's been sharing some things with me regarding the comp plan and things that we all need to understand. I want to just tell people a little bit here because of this, first of all, is a live broadcast. If you are registered for this evening session, you'll get a replay. If you don't get one, it's because you're not registered. And if you want to go to the replay, you go to youtube.com. In the search bar, type in Joseph Shoup. You will see me on the bicycle. Click that on and you will see all the videos, which you will see tonight's broadcast. That's how you see the replay. So I want to send that to your friends and people and so on. I think this is going to be exciting. But let me just say this. You know, the industry, the network marketing, the home business arena has been around for 60, 70 years. I mean, it's a long time. And initially, people were excited many years ago about this industry and how people could have their own business, sharing products and services with people. And eventually the government got involved didn't like the way it was going, too many affiliates versus customers, which brings to mind that the FTC has just had an agreement with one of the first and major companies out there, and things are about to change. We're going to be talking about that a little bit next Tuesday on the Breakfast Club, which is at 9 a.m. Tuesday mornings, Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern. But there's a ruling coming down, Doug, that's going to change this industry and the way the industry operates, the way the companies operate, and the way people get paid. And fortunately, we're not included in any of the problems that they encountered, and we're going to talk about that. But the truth is, the industry has failed almost everyone. A small percentage it has not failed, which is about 5% of all the people in networking, home business arena, network marketing, whatever you want to call it, trying to operate a business from home. It's failed most people, and there are two reasons for that. One is that the education is not provided to how to run a business. Most people don't know how to run a business. They don't know. The number two reason for failure in all of business worldwide is poor record keeping. And it's one of the things we ignore in this industry. We don't keep track of things. We depend on the company to do that. The truth is, you've got to pay attention to your business. And so it's an educational process, learning how to keep track, learning how to organize, and most of all, learning how to communicate in this industry. Not running around begging people to join your business and to take a look at what you have. We had a good session this morning about women in business. That men are hunters. Women are better communicators in this business. And so the second real problem here is that the companies not only fail to educate, their compensation plans do not work for the masses. Too many times in 20 years, Doug, I have been, the same position as a lot of people. As the compensation changes, the company does this, then they do that. We have no control over what the company does, or they sell out. And that's a real problem, is that we have no control as affiliates. We join. In most cases, we've paid money to join, which is stopping as well. And we try so hard to make it work. But here's the people that make money. Here's the formula for making money for those people. It is gather up large groups of people. I mean, massively learn how to recruit. Those people purchase the product or service. The people with the masses amount of people will get a small percentage. of the transactions that occur. Look, you want to make money in any company, you get in the middle of where money is and where money is going. Think about that. You get in the middle of the transactions, you make money. The problem is that most people cannot, will not build large organizations of people where transactions, massive transactions are happening. They get a few friends, family, which they get tired of. They try to go to a cold market with leads and find people and so on. They end up with a handful of people, a small group, and they never make enough money to satisfy the objective for which they joined the company. It's rampant. And the problem is the formula doesn't work. I don't care what company you're with. The formula doesn't work. Let me say two words after this. Until now. The reason I say until now is this evening we have the co-founder of a relatively new company called Kula Brands. Most of you may be on the call, are with the company. If you're not, pay attention, because not only is it about to change, things are changing. They are in the process of changing, and everybody in Kula Brands that is paying attention knows that. Peter Gantner, the founder of this company, along with his partner, Doug Kyle, who's with us tonight, figured out a formula that will absolutely and is turning this industry upside down. Doug, I am so excited about the progress, about the potential of this business. The reason people will make money here versus every other company is evident when you look and see and pay attention to what's happening here. So I won't say any more. We cover this on our websites. We cover it in our weekly trainings. And Doug is responsible for lots of back office projects and getting it all in order for us to be able to take advantage of this new, brand new concept, which, by the way, is patent pending. No one has ever done this before. People are getting so excited about earning money here, about bringing this concept to the masses. It is mind-boggling to me, Doug. I spoke to one of my people today who was fed up with the home industry and networking. Not only did she see this from the beginning 6 weeks ago, her two sons who never joined anything with her and looked at it, one in his early 20s, one in his 30s, jumped on this because they saw the potential that they never saw before. So with that, Doug, I am really, really happy that I'm able to ask you to participate here tonight and other times at the Breakfast Club, and to be able to give your time and thoughts, energy, expertise to us. So tonight's theme is about how are these points, these royalty points, actually determined? What makes that happen? What is it that we look at and see when we say what a point is worth? So I want to turn this over to the co-founder, one of the great thinkers behind this company, and I've come to really, really appreciate in this business at Kula Brands, my now good friend, Doug Kyle. Doug, welcome to the Breakfast Club, and thank you for being here.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, we got a little echo there. So we'll see if we can get rid of that. Yeah, guys, the whole model that we did for Kula Brands is revolutionary. And when I wrote the patent, or the patent pending, when I did the patent pending process and mapped it out, I just really realized, even though Peter and I had been talking for weeks about it, when you diagram out the system, you just realize how unique it is and how much it was what we've all really been looking for and working towards. And every time we joined an opportunity, it was the dream that we were sold, but was never delivered. And so tonight we're going to talk a little bit, and you guys got to forgive me before we even go into this, because it's going to be math. Okay, we're going to be looking at a spreadsheet. we're going to be looking at what a point is, how a point works, what makes a point do what the point's going to do, so to speak. But it's what Joe asked me to do, and it's probably the some of the information that will really, once you guys understand it, really help you understand exactly what you got your hands on. So I'm going to share my screen here.
So let me jump in a minute. Are we
Go
still
ahead, buddy.
echoing?
We're not. When somebody, I guess, muted out, we lost the echo. So
Good. Okay.
we were all good. Okay. So let me know, though, when you can see the spreadsheet over here. And make sure that we're good there. Can you see?
I personally see it. Let's have everybody go to the chat and let's put in there that they can actually see what you have on the screen. I'll keep an eye on that. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay, yeah,
Get on the screen, and I'll just check it here in the chat and see what happens here.
yeah,
They
okay,
see it.
good.
Okay, Pete
Okay.
sees it. Vicky,
Perfect.
yes, everybody's seeing it.
Okay, so we deal in the community, Cooler Brands community. We deal with something that's called, you know, our class code, and basically that's what I use when I programmed everything that's in the back office, working with the programmers. And we start with our founding community members and what everybody else can become. We started off as what we call a 1.4. Everybody is familiar with that. Give me a 1 if you are familiar with that term. If you're new to Cooler Brands, you may not be. We went to 1.3s. Give me a 1, guys, in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now we talked to you last week, right? We're going to upgrade everybody to a 1.2 who is currently in Cooler Brands, and you guys are going to see the value of that here in a minute, the value to them and the value to you. But this is all the class codes for Cooler Brands. It starts off basically somebody who is new and joins somewhere down the road when we get rid of the 1.2, which will be in a few weeks or whenever that ends. I forget the exact date. And they can work their way up to the 1.4. So really, what does that mean to you? Okay, so everything that we talk about and everything we do is around what we call reverse royalties. And I'll just do RR, right? And we're going to say, let's do a number for a quarterly, and we pay out reverse royalties quarterly. Let's do a reverse royalty of, say, $500,000, okay? And we will play with this a little bit as we go. And we're going to say, let's do this. Let's say the manufacturer does $5 million in gross sales for the quarter. Okay. Hang on one second. Let me get this right so everybody can see what I'm doing. And we need one more 0. Okay. And we know that the reverse royalty is going to be 6%. So let's turn that into a percentage. And 0 decimals there. Okay, so we know it's 6%. So and this is just one pool. Let's say this is the reverse royalty for the founders pool. Okay, so we know that we're going to take equals this times this is going to be the amount that's going to be paid into the pool, and we'll turn that into a dollar amount so everybody remembers what that is. Okay, and zeros. Everybody with me so far? So on the first quarter, on $5 million in gross sales at a 6% royalty, we're going to pay $300,000 into the founders pool. Okay, everybody give me a 1 if you're with me so far. I'm going to look and watch those come through. Important that you get this so that we can build the rest. Okay, Joe's a 1. Anybody else a 1, or is everybody a 2? Okay, we're all 1s. Great. Okay, that's good. Okay, so now the question becomes is how many points do you have in this pool, this founders pool, right? That's what we're concerned. That's what everything is calculated on from this point. So if you were in the pool by yourself and you were an original founder or one of the people that got the 1.4 and you didn't bring anybody else in, and I promise to show you guys something in a minute here, and I'm going to use one of you guys as a guinea pig. And so you guys ought to be thinking about who wants to be my guinea pig. But I promise you guys are going to be blown away here in a second. So let's just say it's a one person. They got 1.4, right? So we need to, well, excuse me. Let me back up one step. Before we get there, we got to know how many points are in the total pool. How many people got in? And if we look at Zippin Store right now, we've got a little over 500 people. In time we do the bonus, the indirects and directs and all the points that you'll see in a minute, we can say that there's probably going to be somewhere, let's just call it 1,000 points. It'll be plus or minus this something, but let's just say 1,000. So now we need to know what the PV or the point value is of that. And the way that we do that is we take equals this divided by the 1,000 points. And we know that every point in this case would be worth $300. Okay. That's a lot for a point, but, and let's just be a little bit more conservative. Let's just say this goes up to 2,000. Let's just double that. Okay. So now we got more points in the pool. And we say each point now is worth $150. Now the question is YP, or your points. How many points do you have? Now we take this person that is a single person by themselves, and we say they got 1.4. That's all they've done. They haven't brought anybody else in. So what is their payout, their total, right? Okay, so we'll put in their total here, and their total is simply equals this, the point value, times this. And their point value for that founders pool for that quarter, if they did $5 million, would be 210 bucks. Okay. But even if they only did $1 million, guys, in one quarter, remember what we put into this. This is going to pay out for life. Okay. Every time this manufacturer does $1 million in a quarter, just for the founders pool, that person who never got anything, Joe, in any other company, because they were never able to bring anybody in, right? Just made 42 bucks. Okay. Now let's say you're somebody that's a little bit more ambitious and you brought some people in, and let's say you've got a total of 15 points in the founders pool. Now your payout for that same $1 million would have been 450. And again, if it was the 5 million, it would have been 2250. Okay. So we're talking in terms of the amount of money that somebody can be very, very significant here, depending on how many points they have in a pool and depending on the payout. So here's a question that, Joe, that people always ask me is, what is a point worth? Okay. Now, guys, that is an impossible answer. And the reason why is because we never know what the royalty payment's going to be. And I want you to watch this. At $5 million gross sales, the point is worth $150. At $7 million gross sales, the point is worth 210 for that quarter. Next quarter, the company could have a big drop and do $2 million in gross sales. So the same point that was worth X the quarter before now is worth 60. Okay. And so as the quarters change, the point value changes because it's hooked to the payment or the gross sales of that product for that quarter. Okay. The next thing that it's hooked to is the number of points that you have in that pool. So that's how the point actually works. And the question is who's going to be my guinea pig? Okay, I'm going to put somebody's name here in the new point calculator system that I developed. And this will be in your back office very, very soon for everybody. But I'm going to be able to show everybody your total points. So be sure you want to be considered. Okay, so who would like to give me their username and password? We'll see who wants to step up to the plate here. And if not, I'll use somebody else. All right. No takers? All right. Well, we know Peter Gantner's Corey says me. Okay, Corey. Okay,
Well, good job, Corey.
Yeah, manning up here, buddy.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so if you type in now, can everybody see what Corey types here, Joe?
Well, I see your thing. If he types, I don't know. Let's just type something and let me see.
Yeah,
I can see this faster than everybody else. So
can everybody see Corey's answer? Me there? Give me a one.
Oh, no. Well, it depends. He can select there to either send it to everybody or.
Okay, send it to me private, Corey. Send me your username and password and send it to me private.
I believe there's a box there. It's just to admin. If you drop the box down, it says to everybody or just to admin. Yeah, send it to admin.
Yeah, hopefully I can see that because I'm a presenter, not admin.
I think you can see it, but let me double check and see what I need to look at for that.
Either that or I'll put Peter Gantner right there. But I think Corey would love to see his numbers here. So
I don't see Corey's answer here. So yeah, I do. But now you don't see it.
No,
yeah, if you go there, well, I guess he's showing it now. Can you see it?
Okay, I'm going to go back to
go to the chat. You should see it.
Group chat. I lost it. What?
Well, I can give you his number, but I'm not going to give you his password because I don't see it.
Can you Skype it to me?
Sure.
And
are we on Skype? I'm not on Skype yet, but I don't see. He's not putting a password, and
right.
everybody sees his number.
I'll just use Peter Gantner, so
yeah,
we don't want to do
let's
that.
just do it that way.
Okay. And Corey, I lost the group chat for some reason, so.
Yeah, we saw Corey's number is A85, but we don't see a password, which is good. We don't want that.
Yeah, don't want to see that. Okay, so we're in here for Peter, and I'm going to grab this real quick. Give me a second. And everybody's going to be able to do this this week, okay? So this will be in the back office. I've got it 99% done. And this will take a second. We're going to calculate Peter Gantner's points. And we'll see. And I know a lot of you guys are fairly close to this. I know that Peter is definitely not the top in the company in terms of points. So this is not a bad representation. So it's calculating, it's doing the research of everybody in the community, seeing the relationship that Peter has to everybody in the community on the Cooler Brands Founders Pool. And this will be you'll be able to do this for Zippin Stores Founders Pool, Zippin Stores Branding Pool, Zippin Stores Sales Pool. You'll be able to go in and calculate your points. And what you'll see when you get it, you'll have your directs. You'll get the name of your directs. And there's our Joe. And you'll get the total points for your directs. And as we go down what we call G1, G2, G3, G4, we pay you, your direct, and 4 levels. So we used to call that grandparent 1, grandparent 2, but got too hard to talk to the programmers when we got down to grandparent 4. So I shortened it all to G1, G2, G4. So it gives you your total points for your indirect influence and then your total altogether. So Peter's at about 62 points. So if everybody in Peter's group, which won't happen, right, were to participate, he would have 62 points here, or each point value at $3 million would be worth 5,000 bucks. If a third of those people, basically 20 points, would be this. So when you think about Kula Brands and you think about building a community, I wanted you guys to see how significant it is that, you know, yeah, you don't have to build. And that is what we're really proud of. You don't have to build, because everybody can make money. But those that do build, you know, can make some significant money here. So I'm going to take this one step past this, and I'm going to talk about the momentum pool, okay? Because this is a concept that a lot of people don't have yet. When you are a founder of a product like Zip and Store, when it releases onto Kickstarter, there's two pools that are being tracked in that release in the founders round, okay? One is called the founders pool and one is called the momentum pool, okay? On the Zip and Store, we had $35,000 for the community so that we could release it. For you guys that were on the call the other night, I said 35,000, and Peter has made a decision and corrected me and said we're going to release it on Kickstarter for 20,000. This is giving you guys money, okay? And I just want you to know that, because Peter is a great guy, man, and he really is working hard at making this work for everybody. So every dollar over $20,000 becomes a portion of what we call the momentum pool. And every momentum pool will be different, and you guys will understand in a minute. But let's say Zip and Store hits $200,000 while it's on Kickstarter. Everybody with me? And then Joe, I can't see the group anymore, but put a 1 in and Joe will tell me that everybody understands. Okay.
I understand at this point, so let's see what everybody else is going to put in here.
Okay.
I'm watching the screen right now, so let's see what happens.
Okay. So give me the 1.
Andrea, good girl, and Pete, and so on. Yep, everybody's in a 1.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so every dollar over 20,000 is going to become a dollar that we're going to use to calculate the momentum pool. So we're going to take this minus this, and this is the amount of money over the 20,000 that we needed. And let's say we negotiated with the inventor that we're going to do a 10%. And those numbers will vary, okay? Sometimes they'll be less, sometimes they can be more, you know, maybe even 20%. But let's just say 10%. So we're going to equals this times this, and that's going to be $18,000 at the end of Kickstarter, based upon this number going over, that we're going to pay into the momentum pool. Now, how does that get paid out? Well, it gets paid out the exact same way this over here does. It's going to ask the question of how many points do you have in the founders pool will equal the same number of points that you have in the momentum pool, right? Mm-hmm. And it's going to say how many points are in the overall pool. Well, we know it's 2,000. And we know that the payout then is going to be equals this divided by this is going to tell us our value of each point in the momentum pool, which is a one-time payment, and it's going to be equals this times this. Okay, so coming out of Kickstarter, this person, if this was all true, would get a check in around December for 180 bucks. It's a one-time payment. But now if we really hit the ball and we really go overboard and we hit, you know, let's say 800,000, now we're looking at that payment for the momentum pool. So this is money that is going to be paid out, kind of first money actually coming out of Kickstarter or Indiegogo when we actually do crowdfunding. So when we say the first 24 hours is critical, it really is, because we want to build the momentum for the product that will get us to this number or bigger, get us to as big a number as we can get on Kickstarter so that we can have a nice payout. And if the percentages, were higher, and I don't know what it is for Zip and Store, but it's going to pay out first money. So there's 2 pools coming out of Kickstarter, and this is how they work. And all pools, whether it is the founders, the branding, or the sales pool, will use this exact same formula. It will ask how many points are in the pool. It will figure out how much money is being paid into that pool, the percentage, and then it will calculate the point value, and that's how the points get done in every pool. So hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Joe, I hope I answered that clearly and concisely.
Doug, you are absolutely one of the best teachers that I've had in 22 years in networking. Seriously, I'm not kidding you. It's very clear when you describe things. Now, I think that a lot of us have to see this again. And for that, obviously, you're going to get a replay button. If you registered for tonight's call, you're going to get a replay. And you also, if people want to go there, they can go to YouTube, search for me, click it on, you'll see it there. Now, let me explain this to people. The Breakfast Club has been around close to 20 years. We have done educational things, for the most part, strictly education. Sometimes we geared it towards certain companies, but we've always had entrepreneurs, owners, distributors, people on describing, telling. We have promoted different companies at the time. I want to make this very clear. We are no longer talking about, we haven't, and we're not going to talk about any other company, regardless of the educator that comes on here. We're not going to be talking about anything but Cooler Brands. There might be educational things to talk about women in the business, how you talk to people, how this person talks, what their process is, but you're not going to get any advertisement for any company out there on the Breakfast Club other than Cooler Brands. So don't be afraid to send people here. Doug knows my integrity, that I say that, I mean that. No one should be afraid to send people, and people like Corey and other people that want to participate and educate on here, we should do that. The Breakfast Club is every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. And next week, as I said, we're going to be talking about 10 daily habits of successful entrepreneurs. And, just like Cooler Brands wants other people to bring inventions and show them, and we'll decide, we can do that here as well. We've done that many times, and people say, Joe, I would like to have this topic and I'd like to talk about it. Volunteer. And we can do what Doug did tonight. I asked him, could he come share this after a few of our discussions this week so that everybody could hear it, not just me. And of course, being the person that he is in the company that we belong to, he agreed to do that. So let's participate. We are a community, a true community. And the Breakfast Club's been around 20 years probably. So it doesn't mean that, that we're going to be discussing other things here. We are now committed to discussing the progress of Cooler Brands and how everyone as a community member can benefit. So, Doug, thanks for being here tonight.
No problem,
We
Joe.
really appreciate this. This is fantastic. People will, certainly be able to take advantage of this information, just getting the replay button and sharing it with people. So Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. And we'll close. Any further things you want to say? Go ahead and close out.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Yeah, and I just want to make sure that there wasn't any dangling questions, Joe, that somebody really needed answered, that I could answer for them while I was here. And if not,
You
then
need the questions.
I cannot.
Everybody's saying, yes, it was very clear. Imagine when you start, but here's Corey. Imagine when you start building our portfolio and we have 20 projects. Yeah, I can imagine that, Corey. I envision that some people will be looking at having 100 projects under their belt at some stage, well into the future, of course. But we're going to have, let me just say this. As you can see, people can make money, Doug, just by pledging going on here and participating. Some people saw that in the beginning. They're now understanding when they're looking at this kind of description and diagram, what can really happen, and leveraging the power of the people.
Yes.
Not just one point, but having, 0.4 of your directs and so on. I think people are starting to understand, and I'm teaching my group now how to effectively, find those other people, because truly, we're looking for people who want to manage a business from home, period. I mean, if you don't have that person that has its first priority of, I want to be able to participate in some type of home management process or project, I don't care what you have. They're not going to be interested in what you're doing unless they truly want to do something working from home,
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
So all the things you throw at them and try to convince them isn't going to work. So the first step is to really find people who, I'm finding people are just so interested now based on what we have, because the first step is to say, look, if you are interested, this is what we have. Go watch Peter's 35 minutes. If they're not interested after that, you don't even have a candidate. Yeah. That's our process. That's what we look for. And people are learning how to find those people.
Yeah.
Once you find them, I mean, this is one step towards getting points in the royalty pool. I have been talking, Doug, from what you taught me about the sales pool.
Yeah.
I am blown away by that. I have never been the big salesperson in 22 years in networking. I have been always building teams of people and searching for people who want to manage a business from home. I can tell you right now, based on what Kula Brands has, I will be participating in the sales pool bigger than I ever have before.
Yeah. And Joe, the software that I'm building for the sales pool will make that social sharing for selling super, super simple. And guys, we're also developing a model that I've laid out for social network engagement and the viral effect of that engagement. And I think we may even be able to get that patented. I'm going to try to see if I can get a patent pending, but I've never seen it laid out that way. And I think it's going to cause the engagement of our community to have huge effects on the internet and what we do. So, guys, we really come a long ways. And the thing that I love the most about this, guys, is, we can build, but in no way do we ever leave anybody behind. All the other models are built upon the people that are at the bottom doing their direct shipments and whatever it takes to keep that funnel going. That is not the case here. This is the purest business model we've ever seen. And all of them, whether it was, and I'm not going to badmouth any products, because I know some of the guys that owned Monavie, and I love Monavie, and I love some of the products, but every product that I was ever involved in was usually a single product or a multi-line of a single product and single company. And guys, one of the strongest things that we have here is that I've owned businesses since I was 20, and I told Corey and stuff, I owned a very large insurance company in Southern California. I sold it at the age of 42 for lots of money and retired. Okay, I won't say how many millions it was, but I sold it for lots of money and retired. And so I've been in business all my life like Peter. But what I do know about the insurance industry is that the key to my success was I had thousands and thousands of clients. And anytime a company is dependent upon one product or one client, that is a huge place for failure. Because if that client leaves or that product fails, you're left with nothing. With Kula Brands, we will have products that won't succeed, guys. Guarantee it. I promise it will happen. I mean, it's just the law of numbers. I don't want it to happen, but it probably will happen, right? Let's be honest with that.
Absolutely.
And say that, okay, but we are doing hundreds or thousands of products, right? So our point of failure is almost impossible because of the amount of products that we're going to be doing and the way that we have this structured. And that, guys, once you understand the whole model and understand those concepts, it's just monumental where we're going. So I'll
And
end with
I
that.
have a question here from Tara. Let me read it to you.
Okay.
So if we have 1.4, does that mean we earn 1.4 in each pool on the product and 1.4 on each member we bring in Cooler Brands?
That's a great question. And so let me explain that, and I'll share my screen again a little clearer. In the founders pool, you have 1.4, and really what that is you have 0.4. Okay, if you can see my screen again, Joe, can you see that?
Let me click you on and let me see. Move around a little bit. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Okay, so you really have 0.4 greater than the 1, right? So 40% more. So what, and this is the other thing that gets kind of confusing to people, right? So if we do a product that is a full 1 point, then you would be 1.4. If we did a product that was, or if we did a, like you guys see in the branding, it starts off at actually 0.1, right? So then that would be 0.14, right? So you always get the 40% greater value of whatever the point starts off as, okay? And so if I bring back over Peter's chart here, you can see that we have everybody, the child, and it starts off with the child was at a 1.4, and Peter got the factor of 0.4 over that. So his point on Brian is 0.56 instead of being just 0.4. If Brian was just a 1, like this gentleman down here, a 1, then Peter's override would just be 0.4. Or if it was a 0.3, like Christian here, his override is 0.52. So he's going to get a greater value on whatever this point starts off as, because he is at 1.4. Okay. So yes, the 1.4 serves you everywhere. Serves you in the founders pool, serves you in the branding pool, and serves you in the sales pool. Okay.
Andrea, thanks for answering that question on there because it was done correctly. Very good. Let's see what Corey, we will per email with, let's just say, will we, oh yeah, will we get an email? Yeah, you're going to get an email. Corey, when it's done, this platform will send you the replay button. If you, I'm assuming you registered for this, and if you did it, you're going to get a replay button. Corey, if you don't get the replay, which I'm sure you will if you registered, you can just go to YouTube and type in Joseph Shoup, and you'll see me on the bike. Push the button, you'll see tonight's replay. But you'll get a replay on there. Okay, that's what I thought. Maybe I worded it correctly. Tara, good.
Yeah, it's, guys, once you understand it a little bit, it's not it's not rocket science. It's because I can do it. So I was just getting familiar with everything, and it'll become very, very easy for you guys.
It takes me a few times to see this, as you know. I see it, we talk about it, I get, and I go look at it, and I come back and ask another cut. So people can go back and look at this, and we'll have more discussions on it. Simple as that. What people need, look, this is what people want to know when they're with any company. I don't care if it's conventional job or whatever. They want to know, what do you want me to do, and how much are you going to pay me to do it?
The bottom line, that's what makes us what we are, Joe.
Yep.
And that's what we want everybody to know.
Questions, Doug. You're welcome, Corey. Okay, so look, this is great. This has been great. We'll periodically do this on a Tuesday night. We're always there at 9:00 Pacific on the Breakfast Club. So you probably want to check that out. To register for that, you have to go to thebreakfastclub.ws and then watch these topics. I think next week's going to be very powerful with what should people be doing when they're in business. I think we fail to understand we are in business here. This isn't a game we're playing. This isn't a game Peter and Doug created. This is a true business, and the real first business that everyone can make money, regardless of what their activities are. Perform one simple activity. Yes, you'll get paid. But as Doug showed you tonight, the amount you get paid is going to depend on the activities you perform. But still can get paid with your own effort and not have to worry about anybody else. So with that, Doug, thank you for being here. I appreciate you taking the time. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Say goodnight to everybody on there if you like. Well, it looks like our questions are done, and we'll see you next Tuesday on the Breakfast Club, and we'll do another one of these with a different topic at some point in the future on Tuesday night's evening session of the Breakfast Club. So with that, thanks for being here, and have a great night, everybody, and have a cooler night. Thanks for being here. Good night, everybody.